November 24th, 1971, Portland, Oregon. A man buys a plane ticket with cash. He gives a fake name. He orders a bourbon. And then, he hijacks the plane. What happens next has never been explained. Not by the FBI, not by a single witness, not in over 50 years of investigation. Tonight, we follow the man who called himself D.B. Cooper, the only unsolved skyjacking in American history. Northwest Orient Flight 305, Seattle to Portland. It was a short commuter hop, barely 30 minutes in the air. Cooper sat in the back row, seat 18C. He was unremarkable, middle-aged, dark suit, thin black tie, sunglasses. He ordered a bourbon and water, paid with exact change, and tipped the flight attendant $1. Then, he handed her a note. The note was handwritten. It said, "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I will use it if necessary. I want you to sit next to me. You are being hijacked." Flight attendant Florence Schaffner thought it was a phone number from a flirty passenger until she read it. She sat down. Cooper opened his briefcase and showed her a tangle of red wires, cylinders, and a battery. Whether it was real, nobody ever found out. Cooper's demands were specific, calm, and completely insane. $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills. 4 parachutes, 2 primary, 2 reserve. A fuel truck standing by in Seattle. And the plane was to fly to Mexico at low altitude, with the landing gear down. The FBI scrambled. The airline's president personally authorized the ransom. And Cooper? He ordered another bourbon. The plane landed in Seattle. All 36 passengers were released in exchange for the cash and parachutes. Tina Mucklow, a flight attendant, stayed on board. She would be Cooper's last direct witness. She later described him as calm, polite, and thoughtful. He even told her, "I'm not going to hurt anybody. I just want the money." The plane took off again. Destination, Reno. The crew was sealed in the cockpit by Cooper's order. Somewhere over the Cascade Mountains of Washington state, in pitch-black darkness, in a rainstorm, at 10,000 feet, Cooper strapped on a parachute, tied the money bag to himself, and jumped. Nobody saw him go. The rear stairs indicator lit up, and then, nothing. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in American history. Hundreds of agents, military searches, aerial surveillance over 25,000 square miles of Pacific Northwest wilderness. They found nothing, no body, no parachute, no trace of $199,000 in ransom money. The case, officially known as NORJAK, remained open for 45 years before the FBI suspended active investigation in July 2016. Then, in February 1980, 8-year-old Brian Ingram was digging on the bank of the Columbia River with his family when he pulled up a rotted bundle of bills. 3 packets, nearly $5,800 in $20 bills. The serial numbers matched the ransom, but the money was found miles from the suspected jump zone, and it only raised more questions than it answered. Over the years, more than 1,000 suspects have been investigated. Richard McCoy, a Vietnam vet who pulled off an almost identical hijacking just 4 months later. Kenneth Christensen, a former Northwest Orient employee whose own brother believed was Cooper. L.D. Cooper, nominated by his niece based on a deathbed confession. Robert Rackstraw, an ex-Army paratrooper and convicted conman. The FBI ruled them all out. Every single one. Survival experts say he almost certainly died. The temperature at jump altitude was -7 degrees Celsius. He wore no gloves, no thermal gear, and jumped into a pitch-dark thunderstorm over dense forest. The parachute he chose, likely by accident, was an old military reserve chute that may not have even been functional. And yet, no body was Eve. D.B. Cooper became something unexpected, an American legend. Books, movies, TV shows. His face on t-shirts, Cooper bars, Cooper festivals. He was the working-class hero who robbed from the system and disappeared into the sky. Hollywood made him romantic. The FBI made him infamous. And the public made him immortal. He is the only hijacker in history that most Americans root for. So here we are. Over 50 years later, the money is mostly unaccounted for. The man is unidentified. The case is technically unsolved forever. Did D.B. Cooper die in those cold mountains? Did he walk out of those woods, go home, and live a quiet life? Did someone out there know exactly who he was and take that secret to the grave? We may never know. But one thing is certain. He looked out that rear staircase, into the darkness and the storm, and he jumped anyway. And that's the most D.B. Cooper thing of all. If you made it this far, subscribe. Because next week, We're going deeper into the case that broke the FB,